this time learning and growing with us. Today is not just another webinar on our calendar. It's a reminder that every idea shared, every question asked, and every connection made has the potential to shape someone's future. And that's exactly why we are here today. A very warm welcome to the Women in Computer Science special session, proudly organized by AI Explain You Science. I, Bushra Hamdani, President of Women in Computer Science, and I'll be your host for today's session. Before we officially begin, let's make this room feel like a little less like a meeting and little more like a community. I have one simple question for everyone. If you could master one technology in the next year, what would it be? Just type one answer in the chat. AI, cybersecurity, data science, robotics, cloud computing, or research. Let's see what this amazing audience is passionate about. Great, Anush Niazi AI, Aisha Kesser AI, amazing. Mariata, Mohsina, cybersecurity, great. That's wonderful. I can already tell we are surrounded by curious minds. Nawal Asim, cybersecurity, Laiba, cybersecurity, amazing. So, every successful journey starts with a platform that believes in people. Women in Computer Science is one such platform, a place where ideas are encouraged, skills are developed, research is celebrated, and leadership begins. Our goal is not simply to organize events, our goal is to build confidence, create opportunities, and connect talented women with the global technology community. Now, let's turn our attention to the reason we are all here today. Some people don't just conduct research, they transform research into real world impact. Today's speaker is one of the most individuals. We are delighted to welcome Dr. Ghita Ibrahimi, postdoctoral research fellow at AI Explain You Science. We are delighted to welcome Dr. Ghita Ibrahimi. Her academic journey reflects dedication, innovation, and meaningful contributions in the digital transformation, strategic management, and technology driven development. What makes her work truly inspiring is the way she connects research with the practical solutions that create lasting value. Today, she will be sharing her insights with all of us, and I'm sure every participant will walk away with something valuable. Everyone, let's fill the chat with a warm welcome, Dr. Ghita Ibrahimi.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Bushra, for the introduction. I'm gonna try to share my screen first.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can you all see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm gonna start. Good morning, everyone. Today, we're going to explore one of the most transformative technologies of our time, which is artificial intelligence. I'm gonna say that AI is no longer just a futuristic concept seen in science fiction movies. It has become part of our everyday lives, influencing how we learn, work, communicate, shop, travel, and even make decisions. So, during this session, we'll discover what AI really is, how it works, how it is transforming computer science and the job market, and the ethical challenges we need to address as future professionals. So, my goal is not only to help you understand AI, but also to encourage you to think about your own role in shaping this technology responsibly. So, before we begin, I'd like to ask you a simple question you can answer in the box. What comes to your mind when you hear artificial intelligence? I mean, when you hear the word artificial intelligence, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Is someone answering? Act like a human, reduce workload. Yes. Okay. automation. Yes. So, um, so when you hear the term artificial intelligence, maybe the first things that comes to your mind is maybe it's ChatGPT, maybe it's robots, maybe it's reducing workloads, as one of you said, maybe it's self-driving cars, human intelligence, creativity. Um, these are all excellent answers because AI is incredibly broad. Some people think AI is just ChatGPT, others imagine humanoid robots, but AI is much more than that. In reality, AI is becoming a foundational technology, similar to electricity or the internet, that is transforming nearly every sector of society. But by the end of today's session, I hope you'll have a much clearer understanding of what AI really is and what it is not. So, why has AI became such an important topic over the last few years? To answer that question, let's take a step back and look at history. Humanity has experienced several major technological revolutions. The first industrial revolution introduced steam power and mechanized physical labor. The second revolution brought electricity and mass production. The third revolution introduced computers and the internet, fundamentally changing how we process and share information. Today, we are living through the fourth industrial revolution, where artificial intelligence is changing not only what machines can do, but also how humans interact with technology. Unlike traditional software, AI systems don't simply follow predefined rules. They can learn from data, recognize patterns, make predictions, and even generate new content. This is why AI is considered a general purpose technology, much like electricity or the internet. It has the potential to transform virtually every industry. And the numbers clearly illustrates this transformation. According to McKinsey AI report, 78% of organizations worldwide already use AI in at least one business function, and 71% are really regularly using generative AI. These figures show that AI is no longer an experimental technology, it has become a strategic necessity. But how big is this revolution exactly? Um, let's look at some case statistics that demonstrate the scale of this revolution. According to PwC, artificial intelligence could contribute to up to $50 trillion to the global economy by 2030. To put that into perspective, that's larger than the current GPD of many of the world's larger economies. Research also predicts that the global AI market will exceed $1.8 trillion by 2030, making AI one of the fast growing industries in history. Another interesting finding comes from McKinsey. Their last survey report that 92% of executives plan to increase AI investments during the coming years. This tells us that companies are not asking whether they should adopt AI anymore. Instead, they are asking how quickly they can integrate AI into their businesses. The United Nations also highlights AI as a powerful tool for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly in healthcare, agriculture, education, and climate resilience. So, AI is therefore not only an economic opportunity, but also a potential driver for social development. But where do we actually encounter AI? in our daily lives. Many people rarely interact with AI. The reality is quite opposite. Most of us interact with AI dozens, if not hundreds, of times every single day. When Netflix recommends a movie, when Spotify suggests your next song, when Google Maps calculates the fastest route, when your phone unlocks using Face ID, or when Amazon recommends a product, AI is working behind the scenes. These systems continuously learn from users' behavior to improve their recommendations and predictions. For example, Netflix has reported that more than 80% of the content watched on its platform comes from its recommendation system. That means AI significantly influences what millions of people choose to watch every day. So, I would like to ask you a question. How many AI systems do you think you've already interacted with today? Usually, the answer surprises people. So, AI isn't only transforming our personal lives, it is also revolutionizing the entire industry. So, artificial intelligence has become a strategic technology across virtually every sector. In healthcare, for example, AI assists doctors in detecting diseases earlier and more accurately. One remarkable example is the AlphaFold developed by Google DeepMind. It has predicted the structures of over 200 million proteins, accelerating biological and medical research in ways that were previously unimaginable. In agriculture, AI helps optimize irrigation, monitor crops using drones, and increase food production. In finance, AI detects frauds within milliseconds. Manufacturing companies use AI for predictive maintenance, reducing equipment failures and production costs. And in education, AI powered, for example, tutors provide personalized learning experiences tailored to individual students. So you might see that AI is no longer confined to computer science. It has become an interdisciplinary technology that is transforming every profession. But what actually makes AI different from the software we've been using for decades now? Traditional software follow explicit instructions written by programmers. Think of calculator. Every operation is predefined. If you enter the same input, you'll always receive the same output. Artificial intelligence work differently. Instead of relying solely on predefined rules, AI learns from examples rather than telling the computer every possible situation. We provide data, and the system identifies patterns by itself. This shifts from programming rules to learning from data. It is what makes AI so powerful. So it allows systems to adapt to new situations, improve over time, and solve problems that are too complex to describe with traditional programming alone. Of course, every powerful technology brings both opportunities and challenges. Artificial intelligence offers extraordinary opportunities. It can improve healthcare, personalize education, accelerate scientific discoveries, enhance productivity, and support more sustainable industries. However, AI also raises important concerns. Algorithms can inherit biases from data. AI generated content can spread misinformation and deepfakes. Personal data must be protected, and automation raises questions about the future of work. Now, this is why organizations such as UNESCO and the United Nations emphasize that AI must remain human centered. Technology should serve people, not the other way around. Through today's presentation, we'll see that understanding AI is not only about learning the technology itself, it is also about understanding our responsibility in developing and using it ethically. So, now that we've seen why AI is transforming the world, let's answer the next question. How does AI actually work? Understanding this will help us separate the myth from the reality behind modern artificial intelligence. So, um, uh, so, what exactly is artificial intelligence? I think you all know, but we need to get through this. So, artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science focused on building systems capable of performing tasks and normally require human intelligence. These tasks include learning from experience, recognizing patterns, understanding language, making decisions, solving problems, and even generating creative content. However, one of the biggest misconceptions today is that everything is simply called AI. In reality, AI is broad field made up of several layers, as you can see here. At the highest level, we have artificial intelligence, which includes any technique that enables machines to simulate intelligent behavior. Inside AI, we have machine learning, where computers learn patterns directly from data instead of following explicit programming instructions. And here, one of the newest within machine learning, we have deep learning, which uses large neural networks inspired by the structure of the human brain. And finally, one of the newest branches is the generative AI, which focuses on creating entirely new content, such as text, images, music, videos, or computer codes. This distinction is important because many people use these terms interchangeably, even though they present different concepts. So remember this simple hierarchy. Every generative AI model is based on deep learning. Every deep learning model is based on belongs to machine learning, and every machine learning technique is part of artificial intelligence. So that now that we understood these different branches, the next question becomes, how does an AI system actually learn? So, unlike traditional software, AI is not programmed with every possible rule. Instead, it learns from examples. We can simplify the learning process into four main stages. The first stage is data. Data is the full of artificial intelligence. It can consist of images, text, videos, sensor measurements, medical records, financial transactions, or almost any type of digital information. The second stage is algorithm. I'm sorry, it got mixed. Data algorithm. The algorithm is the mathematical method that searches for patterns within the data. And during the third stage, it is called training. The model repeatedly analyzes the data, makes prediction, compares them with the correct answers, measures its mistakes, and gradually adjusts itself to reduce these errors. Finally, once training is completed, we obtain a trained model capable of making predictions on completely new data and it has never seen before. So let's take a simple example. Suppose we want an AI system to recognize cats. We provide thousands or even millions of labeled images containing cats and non-cats. Initially, the model has no idea what a cat looks like, But after analyzing many examples, it begins to recognize recurrent features such as ear, whiskers, eyes, facial shape, and fur patterns. Eventually, when presented with a completely new picture, it can correctly identify whether it contains a cat. This is learning, not because someone explicitly programmed every rule, but because the model discovered the pattern by itself. However, this process requires enormous computational power. Modern AI models such as GPT and are trained on massive computer clusters using thousands of GPUs over several weeks or several months. But not all learning algorithms are the same. This brings us to machine learning and deep learning. Sorry. So, machine learning and deep learning are closely related, but they are not identical. Traditional machine learning works very well when we have structured data and carefully designed input features. For example, if we want to predict house prices, we might manually provide information such as the house size, the number of bedrooms, location, and age. The algorithm then learns the relationship between these variables and the house price. Deep learning takes completely a different approach. Instead of relying on manually selected features, deep neural networks automatically learn which features are important. For example, when recognizing faces, engineers no longer need to explicitly tell the computer to detect eyes or noses. The neural network learns these visual patterns by itself. This ability has made deep learning extremely successful in fields such as computer vision, speech recognition, language translation, autonomous vehicles, and generative AI. However, this increased capability comes at a cost. Deep learning requires much larger data sets, much more computational power, and significantly longer training time. So, while every deep learning model is a machine learning model, not every machine learning model uses deep learning. So, deep learning is the technology that made today's generative AI possible. Over the past few years, one branch of AI has attracted enormous public attention: generative AI. So, unlike traditional AI, which focuses on classification or prediction, generative AI creates entirely new content. It can write essays, generate realistic images, and so on. So, one of the most well known examples include ChatGPT, Gemini, and so on. So, what makes generative AI so impressive is that it can produce content and often appears remarkably human. However, it is important to understand that these systems are not thinking or understanding in the human sense. They are making highly sophisticated statistical predictions. For example, when ChatGPT generates a sentence, it predicts the most probable next word based on everything it learned during training. It repeats this prediction thousands of times per conversation, producing coherent paragraphs that resemble human writing. So, according to McKinsey, um, generative AI could contribute between 2.6 and 4.4 trillion dollars annually to the global economy by improving productivity across many industries. This can explain why companies around the world are investing billions of dollars into generative AI technologies. So, this raises another important question. How does ChatGPT actually generate an answer? So, let's simply simplify what happens when you ask ChatGPT a question. So, first, your prompt is converted into small units called tokens. These tokens are processed by a special neural network architecture known as the transformer, introduced by Google researchers in 2017. During training, the model has already analyzed enormous amounts of text, including books, articles, websites, scientific publications, and so on. So when you ask ChatGPT a question, ChatGPT does not search internet in real time. Instead, it analyzes the relationship between words it learned during training. It then predicts the most likely next token, one token at a time. This prediction process happens extremely quickly, hundreds of times every second, until a complete response is generated. So, one of the reasons transformer models are so powerful is their attention mechanism. So, rather than reading text one word at a time, they can determine which words in a sentence are most relevant to understanding the overtime meaning. So sometimes these LLMs can generate and produce incorrect information, fabricate references, or confidently presents inaccurate facts, which is a phenomenon known as hallucinations. So that's why critical thinking remains essential. We do not take what LLMs give us. We should read and understand. So AI should assist human intelligence, not replace it. So now we move to the third part of our presentation today. Now that we understood how AI learns and generates informations, let's explore how these technologies can transform one of the fields you know best, which is computer science. Since, I'm sorry, is someone writing something? Anyway, let's explore how these technologies are transforming one of the fields you know best, which is computer science, since this is a computer science club. So, many people think AI is simply another specialization of computer science. In reality, AI is becoming a layer that integrates into almost every area of computer science. In software engineering, for example, AI coding assistants like GitHub, Copilot, and so on. However, these tools doesn't replace programmers. They're acting like intelligent collaborators. In data science, AI enables predictive analytics, anomaly detection, customer behavior analysis, and forecasting. In cybersecurity, AI continuously monitors networks, detects unusual behaviors, identifies malwares, and so on. In robotics, AI gives machines the ability to perceive their environment, make decisions, and perform complex physical tasks autonomously. Finally, in human computer interactions, it enables natural conversations between humans and machines through technologies. So, AI is therefore no longer a separate field. It has become an essential component of modern computer, computer science. Sorry. So, a real example is the GitHub Copilot that developed by GitHub and OpenAI that assists developers by suggesting code in real time. So, according to GitHub's own research, developers using Copilot completed programming tasks up to 55% faster than those who did not use AI assistants. So, if AI is changing computer science itself, then what skills will tomorrow's computer scientists need? One of the biggest misconceptions about AI is that learning programming alone will guarantee success. Programming remains essential, but it is no longer enough. So, future professionals will need a combination of technical expertise and human centered skills. On the technical side, employers increasingly look for knowledge in Python, machine learning, cloud computing, and so on. So, understanding how AI systems work is becoming and important as understanding databases or software architecture. But equally important are human skills. As AI automates repetitive tasks, and so on. These include creativity, critical thinking, communication, leadership, ethical reasoning, and problem solving. So AI can generate a code, but it cannot fully understand business strategy. It can summarize the information, but it cannot replace empathy or human judgment. According to the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report 2025, analytical thinking remains the most important skill for employers worldwide. So, AI literacy, resilience, lifelong learning, and creative thinking are also among the fastest growing skills. This means your greatest competitive advantage won't be competing against AI, but learning how to work effectively with AI. So, um, computer science is entering kind of a new era. Traditionally, software development focused on writing explicit instructions for computers. Increasingly, developers are moving from writing every line or code themselves to designing intelligent systems that collaborate with AI. This doesn't mean software engineering is disappearing. On the contrary, it is becoming more interactive. So, modern developers are um, spending more time designing architectures, validating AI generated code, ensuring security, and solving complex problems. Companies such as Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, and OpenAI are already investing billions of dollars in AI assisted software development. So, rather than asking whether AI will replace programmers, we should ask how can programmers use AI to become more innovative, productive, and impactful? So, that's the real question that is shaping the future of computer science. Now we move to the, I think, the fourth or fifth part, AI and the future of careers. Will AI replace jobs? This is probably the question I hear most often whenever AI is discussed. Will AI replace humans? The answer is more nuanced than a simple yes or no. So, history shows that the technological revolution rarely eliminates work entirely. Instead, they transform the nature of work. So AI is expected to have a similar effect. So according to the World Economics Forum's Future of Jobs report in 2025, AI and other emerging technologies are expected to create 170 million new jobs globally by 2030. At the same time, around 92 million jobs may disappear due to automation. The important point is that this still represents a net gain of approximately, I may calculate, 78 million jobs worldwide. What will change is not simply the number of jobs, but the tasks performed within these jobs. Routine, repetitive, and predictive activities are much easier to automate than work requiring creativity, empathy, leadership, and complex decision making. So think about your future profession. Which tasks could AI automate? And which tasks still require uniquely human judgment? Please, can you write in the box so I can see your answers? Which tasks could AI automate in your future profession? Sorry, no answers? No one's answering? Okay. Um, so new careers created by AI. So every technological revolution creates professions that previously didn't exist. 20 years ago, jobs such as mobile app developer, cloud architect, or social media manager were almost unheard of. Today's AI is generating an entirely new wave of careers hiring AI engineers, machine learning engineers, data scientists, AI product manager, prompt engineering, AI ethics specialists, AI research scientists, robotic engineer, and so on. So, according to the PwC AI job barometer, demand for AI related skills continues to grow rapidly across the industries. So, companies are increasingly looking for professionals who can combine domain expertise with AI capabilities. This means that learning AI today is not just about staying current, it is about preparing for the careers of tomorrow. So, this is the final part of our presentation. We're gonna talk about AI advantages for young women in technology since it's a women club. Um, so artificial intelligence it's not only transforming technology, it is also creating opportunities to make the technology sector more diverse and inclusive. Historically, women have been underrepresented in many STEAM fields, especially in computer science and artificial intelligence. According to UNESCO, women represent only around 30% of the world's researchers, and even smaller percentage work in AI related fields. This is not because women are less capable, rather than historical, social, and educational barriers have limited participation. AI gives us the opportunity to change that. Today's AI systems influences healthcare, education, finance, and so on. So if only one group designs these systems, there is a risk that they many unintentionally reflect limited perspective or reinforce existing biases. So diverse teams, create better technologies because they bring different experiences. So whether you are interested in software engineering, cybersecurity, and so on, AI offers opportunities to innovate and make real impacts. So my message is simple. AI needs diversity because society itself is diverse. The future of AI should be built by everyone, women and men. But while AI creates tremendous opportunities, it also raises important questions about productivity and the future of work. So one of the biggest reasons companies invest in AI is the ability to help people work more efficiently. But what do numbers actually tell us? So according to Microsoft Work Trend Index, around 75% of knowledge workers already use artificial intelligence. The PwC AI job barometers also shows that workers with AI skills tend to experience higher productivity and stronger demand in the labor market, while McKinsey estimates that generative AI could automate activities representing 60 to 70% of the time currently spent on many occupations. So, therefore, AI should be viewed as a productivity partner rather than a simply replacement of human workers. However, greater power also brings greater responsibility. So before enhancing AI completely, we must ask an important questions. How can we ensure that AI is used responsibly? So, we all know that artificial intelligence is one of the most powerful technologies ever developed, but technological capability alone is not enough. We must also ask whether AI is being developed responsibly. Responsible AI means designing, deploying, and using AI systems in ways that respects human rights, fairness, transparency, and privacy and accountability. So organizations such UNESCO, European Union, and so on have proposed principles that encourage developers and organizations to place people at the center of development. Responsible AI includes several important principles. For example, AI should be fair, it should be transparent, safe, secure, accountable, explainable, and human centered. For example, imagine an AI system helping doctors diagnose cancer. The AI can analyze medical images extremely quickly, but should the AI make the final diagnosis alone? Probably not. The final medical decision should always involve a qualified healthcare professional. This illustrates the principle of human oversight. Unfortunately, Building responsible AI is not always easy. We have major challenges such as algorithmic biases, privacy, deepfakes, hallucinations. So, training large AI models required enormous computational resources, raising questions about energy consumption and environmental sustainability. None of these challenges mean we should stop developing AI. Instead, they remind us that technological progress must be accompanied by ethical responsibility. So here's another question. Should everything that can be automated actually be automated? Or these situations, there are situations where humans should always remain involved? If you can answer in the box, please. Should everything that can be automated actually be automated? Yes? Anyone? No one? Okay, so building a trustworthy AI. The future of AI depends not only on more powerful algorithms, but also on greater trust. So, trustworthy AI, as we said, requires collaboration between governments, universities, technology companies, researchers, and society. It begins with collecting a highly and representative data. It continues through a transparent model developments, continuous testing, independent auditing, and regular monitoring after deployment. So education also plays a really essential role. Future computer scientists must understand that not only how to build AI systems, but how to evaluate their societal impact. According to UNESCO, AI should always promote human dignity, inclusion, sustainability, and fundamental rights. So, responsible there AI is not a technical challenge, it is a social responsibility shared by everyone involved in creating intelligent systems. So, now that we've discussed what AI is, how it works, how it's transforming careers, and the challenges it brings, I'd like to conclude by discussing what you can do starting today. So many students ask, where should I start if I want to work in AI? So the answer is actually, the, did someone say something? The answer is actually quite simple. First, you need to build strong foundation like learning programming, especially Python. Then you should begin with machine. Sorry. First, you should build like strong foundations, Python, mathematics, statistics, algorithms. Then you should begin exploring machine learning, deep learning through online courses, practical projects. But don't stop here. The best way to learn AI is by building things. Create your own chatbot, develop a recommendation system, analyze data sets, participate in Kaggle competitions, contribute to an open source project on GitHub, experiment with platforms such as Hugging Faces, Google AI Studio, OpenAI API. So most importantly, you should remain curious. So AI evolves incredibly fast. Lifelong learning will become one of the most valuable skills of career. So finally, I'd like to leave you with one last thought. Today, we've seen that artificial intelligence is much more than ChatGPT or robots. It represents one of the most significant technological revolutions in human history. We learned how AI systems learn from data, how deep learning powers modern applications, and how generative AI can create entirely new forms of content. We've explored how AI is transforming computer science, new career, increased productivity, and reshape the global workforce. We also recognize that AI brings important ethical challenges involving fairness, privacy, transparency, and accountability. Ultimately, the future of AI will not depend only on engineers and researchers. It will depend on all of us. Every future developer, entrepreneur, scientist, policymaker, educator, or even citizen will play a role in determining how AI will shape our society. So rather than asking, well, AI will replace me, perhaps we should ask, how can I use this AI to solve meaningful problems and improve people's lives? That is, in my opinion, one of the most questions of all. So, um, thank you very much for your attention. I hope today's session has helped you somehow understand artificial intelligence and why it matters. So I encourage you all to continue learning, experimenting, and asking questions. Remember that
It's only same as a project for your memory. Like if your computer refresh or many things that needed on your computer, then GitHub save your things that GitHub save your projects links or projects codes that you're working on your many formats that you're working on your projects and that save in your GitHub. And then if you work on Streamlit or groups or if you have any idea if you're working on Hugging Face, uh, well, etc. And you handle API and internet connections and yeah, backend plans that you work on, like a deploy. If you deploy on your websites, like deploy on your things, that restore your data in GitHub and restore your data on any other. Then you personally first shift on your GitHub your data on GitHub.
Thank you, Mahanur Fatima.
Okay, thank you.
As we come to the end of today's session, I hope each one of us is taking away not only new knowledge, but also precious inspiration to continue learning, exploring, and growing. Before we conclude, I would like to make a moment to sincerely appreciate Mahnur Fatma for sharing her work and experience with all of us. Thank you, Mahnur, for giving us a glimpse into your journey and for motivating everyone through your contribution. We truly appreciate your efforts and wish you continued success in all your future endeavors. A special thank you to our entire Women in Computer Science leadership team and organizing committee for their dedication, teamwork, and commitment in making today's session a success. And finally, a huge thank you to every participant. Your enthusiasm throughout the questions and active engagement are what make this session truly worthwhile. The future does not wait for the most experienced. It belongs to those who are willing to keep learning, keep adopting, and keep showing up. On behalf of AI Explain You Science and Women in Computer Science, this is Bushra Hamdani wishing you all continued success. Take care, stay curious, and I forward to meeting you in our next session. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.